Hi, it's Christie, and today we're going to talk about anxiety. So, I think I've been pretty open before that I do struggle with anxiety, and this was a really, really rough week for me. I had a panic attack on Monday, um, which I kind of recovered from that evening. I'll talk a little bit about how. But then, it took me the whole rest of the week to kind of get my equilibrium back and to get back to a place where I feel semi normal. um, but yeah, Tuesday, it was just really rough. Wednesday, I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday, I ended up having to leave work early. I just have to take a half day. I can't do it. And then I ended up in urgent care that afternoon, late afternoon, because I was like, I'm having a heart attack. I can't. I'm I wasn't. It was fine. But that's what anxiety can do. A lot of anxiety symptoms can actually mimic heart attack and other kinds of actual health issues, but it's not. It's just your anxiety messing with you, and it's really awful. And, I kind of feel like Thursday was kind of the upswing. Friday I did pretty well, and now I'm kind of normal. But the reason I say normal is because I feel like I went through a period of time where if I were to rank the anxiety, like from 0 to 10, where 0 is like you have no anxiety at all, you're like totally just fine. I think my normal baseline for a while was like a 1. It's very rare for me to be at a 0. So, but I was at like a 1, and that was my baseline, and I would maybe spike at a 3 or a 4. And now I kind of feel like my baseline has moved up to about a 3. And then I'm spiking at like a 5 or 6. So it's like literally everything has intensified, so that my baseline is higher anxiety than it was, which, as you might imagine, not fun. So if you remember the beginning of the year, I was talking a lot about I was trying to renew my mind, that this was something that I was working on. And I think first of all, you can't renew your mind once and you're done. Renewing your mind is really a lifelong process. So basically, I just need to go into another intensive period of renewing my mind, to try to figure out what is it that's making me so anxious. What caused that panic attack on Monday? Still not sure. Why did it take me so long to recover? Why did I have such a hard time, the next few days? Granted, there's a lot going on in the world right now. I'm sure that's contributing. And it turns out there was stuff going on in my family that I didn't know about because my family deliberately does not tell me things. They tell me things on a need to know basis because they know about the anxiety. But I kind of wonder, like, did I somehow? I don't. You may not believe in this, okay? But I do believe that sometimes, you sense things, you know things, without knowing you know them. And I kind of wonder if I was picking up some vibes or if I just knew something wasn't right. Stuff was going on in the family. Nothing major. Everybody's fine. But my dad, he did get ill at his facility, and they had to take him to the hospital. He's fine now, back at his facility, feeling fine. But that happened on Tuesday. Also on Tuesday, my younger nephew broke his thumb. There was just stuff going on, and I'm like, maybe, I don't know, maybe subconsciously, or I picked it up. I don't know. And then everything going on in the world. But anyway, so I'm just going to really be working on myself. And so one of the things I'm going to be doing, um, I've been taking walks. I take about a mile walk on weekdays only. I don't do it on weekends, but on weekdays, I take a mile walk, and that really helps. And that was actually what helped me on Monday evening, so that the day that I had the actual panic attack, that evening I went for my usual walk around the neighborhood, and I'm just praying, and I'm trying to, I can't. What's going on, God? I feel awful, and I just felt the Holy Spirit say, just listen to the birds. So I stopped trying to pray. I stopped trying to talk about it, and I just listened. and I could hear the birds singing, and I could hear the wind rustling through the trees, and it calmed me down. And I was able to finish that walk, and I just felt so much better. And also, toward the end of that walk, the Holy Spirit prompted me. If you're not spiritual, if you haven't experienced this, it's really hard to explain what I mean when I say the Holy Spirit told me to, because it can happen in a lot of different ways. Sometimes I'll actually hear a voice say something to me. Other times it's more of a conviction or a feeling. So, just so you know, so if I say the Holy Spirit prompted me to, it either means I heard a voice say do something, or I felt a conviction sort of from inside that doesn't feel like me, and I really can't explain it any better than that. But so the Holy Spirit kind of brought someone from my church to mind and said, call her. And the reason I know that wasn't me is because this isn't I've never called this person before. This is a person who is on the, I write curriculum for our Bible study at church, and she's on the curriculum team with me. She's great. We get, but we've only ever really worked together on the curriculum team. I have never, just talked to her. And so when it, call her, and I was like, okay. Felt a bit weird, but I did it. And it was great. We had a great conversation. She really helped me out. And it was based, I think, on my conversation with her that I was like, I really need to start journaling. I have been told this before. And for some reason, I just never did it. I just never picked up anything and started to write what I was feeling, which is odd because I do consider myself a writer. I've written a book. It is not published, but I've written one. So why would I have not been journaling like this whole time if I'm like a writer? This doesn't even make sense. So now I'm trying to journal. So if I'm, even no matter what I'm doing, I want to actually start carrying around a notebook and a pen, so that if whatever I'm doing, if I start to feel anxious, I can stop, grab my pen. Okay, what am I feeling right now? And then, so hopefully in the moment, I can figure out what is it that made me anxious? What did I just think? And I'm hoping that will help me figure out what are these triggers? Like, why am I getting anxious like this? The other thing I want to start doing is art therapy. And this is a new thing. I've heard about art therapy, but it wasn't even something really that anyone had mentioned to me. But because I did draw that hummingbird for my mom for Mother's Day, for her Mother's Day card, and I enjoyed it. And so as I was feeling really anxious, I was like, I'm going to try this art therapy thing. I'm going to draw something. So I picked up a pencil and my colored pencils, and I just drew a picture, which I will put here for you to see. But it was just a way for me to draw what I was feeling at the time, which was just very frustrated, very just, and so I drew that, and it helped. It actually helped. So now I have my sketch pad, not carrying with me, but because that's not the kind of thing I would just drop and start drawing. That's something I would actually have to sit down and do. But I have my little sketch pad and my pencil and my colored pencils, and so every now and again, when I feel like I need it, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna draw and see if that helps. So between the journaling, the art therapy, the walks, I'm really gonna, and of course still prayer and really trying to renew my mind to try to deal with this anxiety. But I wanted to talk about it because I think it's important. There's a little bit of a stigma around mental health and like not being okay mentally, and I don't think there should be. I think with everything that's going on in the world right now, honestly, if you're not a little anxious, I'm kind of worried about you. You know what I mean? Things are happening in the world that should not be happening. And I think it's normal to be anxious, and it's normal to maybe feel a little depressed and to feel a little discouraged. But the thing is, you can't let it beat you. And that's where I think the struggle is. I don't want to get to that point again where it culminates in a panic attack. I'm allowed to feel anxious and upset about things that are happening in the world, but I want to be able to deal with those things and process those things so that they don't then culminate in panic attacks and me ending up in urgent care thinking that I'm having a heart attack, because that was not fun. So I'm through the worst of it now. There was definitely a point during the week where I really felt like this is just me now. And that's an awful feeling to have when you just, this is just how it is now. And I'm just going to feel awful forever. That's not true. Okay. So if you ever feel like that, remember that is not true. That is the discouragement of the moment talking. Um, and yeah, just really try to track down what is it? What is going on in my brain right now? What thoughts just happened where my anxiety spiked? And if you can't track it down, try journaling, try drawing, but figure out what can you do to try to get your mind in order. And then once you figure out like what these thoughts are, then it's a matter of speaking to those thoughts. You want to flip them around. I've also mentioned before when my therapist has been working with me on thinking more positively. Because what is anxiety but it's imagining a negative future, basically. So rather than imagining a negative future, why don't you ever imagine positive futures? That's a good question. But it's something that I have to work at doing. That's where the renewing of your mind part comes in. Because it's not, it doesn't come naturally. I'm not a negative person per se. But I do tend to forecast negative futures. I get afraid of, oh, what if this bad thing happens? What if this bad thing happens? What if this bad thing happens? So overall, I wouldn't say I'm a negative person, but I do have negative thought patterns when it comes to like fear and anxiety. If that makes sense. So I have to learn to turn those thoughts around. When I notice a thought, oh, what if this negative thing happens? I have to catch it. Okay. But what if something positive happens? Flip it around. So it's work. It is work. And it can be very tiring sometimes. After a week like this past week, it's just like, I don't want to do the work. But I do want to do the work because I hate feeling that way. So yeah, prayerfully this week will be better. I'm really hope, with all the walking and the journaling and the art and all the things that I'm doing, I'm really hoping and praying, and I'm going to be positive and say that this week will be better. So that was mainly what I wanted to talk about. That was what happened to me last week. As far as this weekend, got my hair done. So I'm sure you've noticed that this is different. So I did get my twists. So I'm gonna have these just be nice for Jamaica. I have my little twists, which I'm very happy about. So I got that done yesterday. It took about 5 hours. It wasn't too bad. It can take way longer. I feel like 5 hours isn't that bad. And then today, I actually just got home from having a cookout at my sister's. My mom, my sister, and then her whole, my brother-in-law and nephews, plus my brother-in-law's sister, her husband, and their daughter. So it was a nice little family thing. We had a cookout. I brought fruit, and my mom brought potato salad, and my sister and brother-in-law cooked turkey burgers and hot dogs, and they grilled some veggies. And the sister-in-law brought some chicken kebabs that were really good. So we just had some really good food. And then we roasted some marshmallows. The jumbo marshmallows, like they're like this big. I can't really tell. Okay, I'll put it next to my face. They're like this big. They're huge. But they're really fun. So we roasted marshmallows. So I'm a little bit of a sugar high right now because I ate 2 of those giant marshmallows, but it's delicious. And now I'm going to sit here and relax. I'm going to edit this video and post it and then relax. I might do some art therapy later, or I might not because I feel pretty good. That's not to say I'm only going to do art if I don't feel right, because that feels like that would ruin art. But I don't have any ideas right now for anything to draw. I'll just say that. So yeah, I'm probably just going to relax. And then, sorry, I keep leaning down because Snidely is on the floor, right? Sorry, I can't tell where my hand. The camera is still flipped. I still have not bought a vlog camera. So sorry, but Snidely is on the floor over here, but like further, so you can't see me pointing. So that's why I keep leaning, because I'm leaning down to pat the kitty cat. But anyway, yeah, Snidely and I are gonna hang out. I might read. I might play some Sims. whatever. Enjoy the rest of the day. And I have no plans tomorrow for Memorial Day. If you're watching this and you're not in the U.S., tomorrow is Memorial Day in the U.S. So we have the day off. And I'm just going to rest and relax since I had busy days yesterday and today. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. I hope that you are not anxious, and that if you are, that you're dealing well with it. If you have been struggling alone, please stop. Talk to somebody, a trusted friend, a trusted family member. Get therapy if you can. There is no shame in feeling anxiety and in having, a little bit of trouble mentally sometimes. And do not just try to struggle through it on your own. Get some help. Honestly, I think everybody would benefit from therapy, even if you don't have anxiety issues specifically. I just think therapy is a really good thing because it can really help you get to know yourself better and just do life better. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. So I don't know if I should say I hope you enjoyed this vlog because it was a little bit heavier than usual, but I think it's a good topic to talk about. So I will talk to you next week. I will have a better week. I'm not even going to say I hope and pray that I will. I will have a better week mentally this week. And I will let you know next weekend how I'm doing, if I've done any more art, if I have kept up on the journaling. You guys can help keep me accountable to make sure that I'm actually still doing these things, okay? So I will talk to you next week. Bye!